Hey guys, this is my opinion with a new video in probably a little over a year from his last. I've been having a lot going on, life's been crazy, I've been lazy, and I just, haven't been able to really find the motivation to sit down and make a video of anything since the presidential races have ended and we don't really have any exciting races coming up until next year. What have I had any interest in making a video about? This probably isn't really the opportune time to making a video. My hair's a mess. My room's a mess. I'm kind of cramped in everywhere. Jordan Peterson would be telling me to clean my room, but honest to God, he can't clean up his own life. So what do I need to take his advice for, right? But lately, I've been very motivated to sit down and take the time to make a video, even if it's an impromptu kind of just sit down and ramble about everything for a little bit. I'd like to get into a swing where I gradually learn to edit, to fix my voice. I've got this weird sort of low, weird cracking thing going on because I'm not very good at trying to just sit down and talk like myself and just sit here. I lean forwards, backwards, side to side, even though I just did that motion in a opposite order. I just sit stiff like I have a stick up my ass. My eyes dart around because something catches me because I have the attention span of a squirrel. I just don't know how to enunciate my words properly. Sometimes I can't raise it, lower it, because again, I don't really know how to talk like myself when I'm in front of a camera. And if you look really closely, if you notice, I'll try to edit it out in an iMovie, but I'll end each clip by sort of leaning forward to hit the pause or stop button because I don't really know how to time myself. I don't know how to say something, end it, pause for 5 seconds, and then lean in to turn off my video, make it easier for editing. I'm confident that'll all change with time. I keep at it. I keep fixing things small here and there, progression. It'll all balance out for me, I'm sure. At the very least, I'd like to get rid of this weird sort of crackly voice that I have going on. Maybe subconsciously, I think it's cool and I sound mysterious and interesting when in reality it's just annoying and grating. But I really want to talk about the motivation for this video, for me finally sitting down after a while. I want to talk about where I feel like this country is today after very recent events. I want to talk about where I feel like I am as an individual in this country and where I feel like I am measured to other people. Other people not like me, other people like me. I had watched a trove of videos lately in the past few days, ranging from the assassination of Charlie Kirk and the murder of the young Ukrainian woman on the subway to collections of Nick Fuentes and Sam Hyde commentary videos. One of which I think was just dropped today by Sam Hyde. It was one of his like hour length videos with that sort of wide angle aspect. It was called "This Is You," and it's his point of view of where we as white individuals, white male individuals especially, are in the societal totem pole. And the other kinds of videos I've been watching were just countless, countless videos, long, short, YouTube, TikTok, celebrating or defending the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And after sitting through hours of commentary, hours of observation and analysis, and just a lot of ugliness, a lot of ugly truths and reality, I felt comfortable enough to be able to sit down and kind of talk about my own positions, my own beliefs, and stop sort of acting like some sort of in between, impartial person who just talks about elections and races and not try to put a sort of biased spin on it, because let's face it, we're all biased, right? We all have our own teams. Anybody who says that they work down the middle of the aisle in a selfless fashion, I don't think that's true. I think we all have our preferences and our prejudices, and we have to be comfortable with that. I can't speak confidently about it because I'm sort of talking like I'm back in speech 101. I'm throwing way too many ums and uhs out there, but in my heart, in my gut, I am reasonably confident in how I feel. about the world and how I feel about myself in the world, especially here in the United States of America. So, to address the biggest of the elephants in the room, the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Um, I'll start with a qualifier. I'm sure I wouldn't agree with everything Charlie Kirk had believed in. He was conservative, so maybe I'm sure there's already a base minimum 75% I'd probably agree on with him. But probably not everything. I think that his I think that his ultimate dedication to Israel, which he was critical towards the end, but you would never be able to pull him away from supporting Israel. I think it was maybe a little misguided for him to believe that they were our best friends or that there's a net positive or a net benefit to supporting them long term. Um, he was a very intellectual, polite, kind, and I'd say sort of moderate, conservative person. Not so moderate like, say, Collins or Murkowski, where they'll just kind of write down a list of their positions or their policies and then kind of cut it halfway down and say, well, I'll tailor to Democrats on this, and then I'll tailor to Republicans on this. Give it a good 50-50 split. He wasn't moderate like that. He didn't play to the left's and the Democrats' sensibilities most of the times. He debated them. He tried to pull them onto his side, and he was relatively unapologetic about believing what he believed in, even if it was counter to liberal leftist ideologies. But here was a man who had never written a piece of policy in his life, was never a politician. He helped get them elected, but the most he did was talk, rile up a room, and have deep faith in Christ, which is something I can definitely, me and my family can absolutely appreciate, more than anything else. But here was a good moderate man who only ever spoke and gave the entire time of day to people that disagreed with him. Shot down for 3 reasons: because he was effective, because he was white, and because he was, I think above all else, because he was Christian. There's a video I watched on my way home from work. It was called "The Difference Between Charlie Kirk and You," and it was by a YouTuber named David Stewart. So if I forget to put it in the comments or the description, it's David Stewart's "The Difference Between Charlie Kirk and You." He made an excellent point of saying the biggest difference between any right winger who is an inch right of centrist, any difference between them and Charlie Kirk is audience. Ultimately, the people celebrating his death, the people making merchandise of it, they hate you either as much or even more. In fact, the further right you go, they probably hate you all the more. If you had an audience Charlie Kirk's size and you just got gunned down in front of your family, they would laugh, they would dance, they would make merchandise, they would make TikTok videos celebrating the fact that all you died for was talking, for attempting to reach out to people, at least to make a dialogue and be effective doing it. Meanwhile, the video by Sam Hyde, "This Is You," it suggests that there is an impending turning point, which is, ironically, that was the name of Kirk's organization. But he Sam Hyde suggested that there is an inevitable turning point, that your young Christian man, he's going to stop being silent. He's going to stand up. He's going to say, I am white, I am male, I am a faithful man, I believe in the Christ, and I believe that I am being especially persecuted in this country. I believe that the governments of the past, our current government, and anybody else in a position of power, doesn't have our best interest in heart. they believe in special exceptions for anybody outside of the caste of the white male. Suggested that to a certain degree, we need to play by the rules that were made up to be used against us. We need to contact people's employers, get them terminated from their jobs. We need to be a more aggressive people, but the difference being not to the point of violence or assault. He like Nick Fuentes suggests to, is we need to, above all else, we need to maintain compassion when it's necessary. We need to maintain sympathy when necessary, resolve all the time. We need to keep that cool head. But we need to stop staying quiet, hoping that all blows over, hoping that everything realigns magically without any input from us, because we're afraid to be called a name, because we're afraid to be labeled as an evil that we know we're not. We're just afraid of terms and reactions anymore, that it's crippled most Christian white men, young Christian white men, it's crippled them to the point that they can't defend themselves, that they have no desire to speak about it. Maybe they can just squeak through life and die quietly, happy, without knowing that they upset a sensitive group. A quick aside: if you do go the route of contacting somebody's employer and getting them fired or in trouble, that's all fine. All bets are off now. That's probably the least harmful thing you can do, is getting these people out of the workforce and sort of removed from general society. But it's also sort of a kind of cowardly and sneaky, radish thing to do. Don't go bragging to your friends about it and sort of gloating about how you got so and so fired for being an idiot. So what? Keep it to yourself, but if you have the opportunity, go for it. You're kind of doing everybody a favor. A common sentiment now among the white Christian youth, the white Christian conservative youth, without a leader now, is that something needs to be done. That's easy to say, right? Something needs to be done. But they understand they need to speak out. They need to march. They need to be on corners with bullhorns. They need to make content on YouTube. They need to run for office. Step one is airing your grievances, is talking to anybody. It can be to yourself, to your friends. It can be posting a video on YouTube, discussing what you believe now and why you're comfortable believing that. That's step one. And then step two is working towards tangible change, working towards getting a seat at the table and getting policy, getting change that favors, I think, Christian nationalism. I think that policy that favors Christian nationalism is a policy that favors America as a whole, that favors her growth, her health, and the best possible outcomes for her citizens. A lot. I feel like I'm kind of disjointed here. Once I put all this stuff together, I'm not really sure if it's gonna connect in a sort of consistent, linear fashion. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get a really consistent video out of this, but this is the first kind of video that I've done in this style with my face. So see what happens. Again, like I said at the beginning, everything can get better. I just need to work at it a little bit. But I think I'm going to end it here with a lot of vagueness and a lot of not elaborating on what I believe and what I feel, because why would I give away the entire story? If I want to make more videos. But I just want to leave it at a message for all of America. I guess anybody who's listening, but especially those who are young and white, that you need to be comfortable with who you are. You need you need to understand that you are not a walking crime. You're not a walking microaggression or an affront to the less privileged, to the minority, to the otherly gendered, or whatever they want to call themselves nowadays. That you are the originator of the promises of America and the beauty of America. You are the catalyst. You were the catalyst of all beautiful things, and the closest that you could possibly come to freedom. Then, now you are a catalyst for revolution to bring back that promise. It all comes back to the promise that we are a free and a just society. So I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna head to bed. I'm tired, and I regret feeling inspiration in my muse uh, breathing on the back of my neck at like 10:30 p.m. at night. So I'm gonna head out. You guys have a fantastic rest of your evening, days that follow, and I hope to get back to you soon. All right, y'all have a good night.